It's obviously nice to play a hockey game. We've gone now 3 weeks, some kind of limited schedule practicing, and I think it's nice for the guys to go out there and play against another jersey. And if we take anything away, certainly there was some excitement, there was some passion, there was some energy. Guys were certainly geared up to go. So that's always a positive sign, and quite honestly, we've seen that in practice. It's been a fun team to coach over the time. Again, limited practice is what the NCAA allows you, but it's been a fun team to coach. They've really been engaged, and I think that goes to kind of the senior lead, not the senior leadership, but the captains, Joe Pereira, Chris Conley, and David Wazowski have really had this group from day one kind of real excited, and so that's been fun for us. Obviously, there was a lot of good plays, there was a lot of good skill. The power play showed some things you'd be kind of excited about in terms of you could have that, you could bottle it and have it show up throughout the rest of the year. But I think that goes to it was fun to watch it and fun for the players to kind of play that type of game.
Mike, I thought the defenseman looked a little jumpy perhaps in the first period, and that explained the slow start before you really steamrolled it. But what did you think you learned about your team today, particularly versus practice?
I would say we learned we have a lot of work to do, and we with the limited practices, you really pick and choose what you can get in and want to get in, and then when you get it in, how much do you go back to it to really see it take shape. And at times within our own practice, our D-zone coverage has gone from, boy, we just kind of laid it out there and kind of picked some of it up to see it take some form, see it take some shape. But clearly, there's some areas of our D-zone coverage that need to get better and avoid some of the major breakdowns and the great scoring chances we let up.
Coach, you used a word that we hadn't really heard. I don't know if we heard it all last year, and the word is fun. Do you sense what's the difference in energy between last year's team and this year's team?
If you look at just recent times here, it's hard to follow a championship at any level. New England Patriots first year, I don't think they made the playoffs. The Celtics the year after they won at Boston College a few years ago. It's a tough task. Human nature is a powerful thing, and clearly it got the best of us and the best of our team last year. And I think this team, this leadership was excited to put that behind them and to go play hockey again and play BU hockey. And it's fun to win. It's fun to work hard. And, even at the pro level, sometimes you get lose sight of the fact that you love the game. You love to go out and make plays and compete and hit. And that's what this group's doing right now. And again, really from the start of the year. So I think that's where the fun is coming from. From a coaching standpoint, I'm sure we've tweaked a little bit philosophy-wise. Some of the things we're doing, either skill development, which is a little more fun, and giving the guys maybe a little bit more responsibility in some other areas. That's probably taken some stress away from them. But overall, this team's just excited to play and geared up to go, and I think that's where the fun's coming from.
Charlie Coyle certainly looked pretty comfortable for his first college game.
He'd make any coach look good, that's for sure. You don't see a guy come along very often with that kind of a package. You're looking at such a rare commodity in terms of such a big, strong, well-balanced athlete with the type of skills that makes you a great hockey player, which is hands and hockey sense. So he's certainly giving us a dimension that is going to be hard to handle.
I know there's a lot of line shuffling going on tonight, but is that top line something you anticipate we'll see again? And you just talk maybe some of the other combinations and things that you thought looked good?
Well, clearly that's Coach Parker's department, but I think it was tempting to see Charlie play with a kid like Chris Conley, and to get Joey Pereira really in position to play with our better players and really elevate him. And I think your seniors, if you look back a couple years ago, we won on the back of upperclassmen. And though we're a young team, we need our older guys, Joey, Ross Godet, Corey Trevino, David, to really give us really good years. And I like Joey's game. He really, he gets involved, but he made some plays. I think that's potentially going to be a real good line for us.
Coach, given your limited practice time, what exceeded your expectations the most tonight, especially the most?
I think the power play, just the mindset was to really to put their goaltender under siege more, to trigger, to shoot more sooner, and I think it could even be better. But it certainly had an attitude, and we tried. Your power play, it has to have an attitude in terms of it's attacking, it's putting pressure on the penalty kill. And quite honestly, as talented as we've been in years past, recent years with some of these guys that are playing in the National Hockey League right now, it was more predicated on making, and sometimes the perfect play. And I think we've tried to establish right off the bat that we're looking to drive the puck quickly on net. We're looking to create more havoc at their goal. And then it opened up some plays later on in the game.
Coach, you gave up 2 power play goals early on, but it looked like as the game went on, special teams got a little bit better. Can you just talk about what you saw on special teams?
Yeah, I mean, we haven't had a lot of time to work on the penalty kill. And we had some players that, haven't played a lot over their careers killing penalties. Both just from the standpoint of first game and the fact that I was kind of directing who was going, I wanted to kind of sprinkle in as many guys as we could in different situations. And I don't think there's any question our penalty kill will get better, from what we saw, because there was, quite a bit of uncertainty. There was times when we really needed to skate more in pressure and was kind of passive. And then other times on one of the goals, they really stretched us out and we went pressuring, and probably a better decision might have been to just be a little more controlled. So I don't think we're too concerned in terms of where it's going to go to, especially because we know we just haven't spent a lot of time.
So Ben Rosen gets some shifts at forward at the end of the game. Is that something you're sort of working with him on?
It's something that's with the decor that's kind of come about here with some of the young guys and some guys looking pretty good. Ben can skate. He has good puck skills. At times, on defense, he's had some games where it's been a little overwhelming. At forward, it takes the pressure off you. So I would be less than honest if I didn't tell you that that's kind of come out, just thrown out in a meeting once in a while. And then it was a necessity tonight. We had planned to have Cisse only played a period and a half, and then Ross got dinged a little bit, and it just didn't make sense to leave him out there.
Why was the game plan to have Cisse come out after a period and a half?
He's been throughout the fall just rehabbing some injuries that he's been dealing with, and made really good progress. But again, this was more to just put him in a game situation. He has scrimmaged, and we've seen good signs there physically. So it was just to take another step. And considering the way that game started to kind of turn the second period, or the second half of the game was probably best. That it would have been nice to keep Chris Conley out, David Wazowski out, but luckily nobody got hurt.
Coach, can you talk about your experience being the acting head coach?
It's been, I don't want to use the word easy, but David Wazowski, Joe Pereira, Chris Conley have done such a great job. And this team has been so ready to go from day one that any point we've been on the ice, there's never been a time where we didn't think, Buddy, myself, Bertie Hassanen, we didn't feel like they weren't engaged. They weren't focused on what we were working on. We've tried to talk about not making the same mistake twice. And for the most part, we've seen that. So, I don't mean easy, but it's been easier because we've had such great leadership, and then individually, each player's been ready to go. Buddy Powers has been a head coach for a long time. Bertie Hassanen has been a head coach in Europe, and then has worked here at BU, coached me here at BU, so very comfortable with him. So the three of us talking and throwing things about, and certainly talking to Coach Barker, whether it's during the day or in the evening, hey, this is what we discussed, and this is what we're thinking. How do you feel about this? And then kind of getting his final decision. So it's been a lot of fun because the players and the way they've gone about it.
Obviously now looking ahead